Today morning, I would like to speak the word of God here in Embakasi East Constituency, Nairobi, National Government. My name is Lecturer Clergy Bishop Kenya Michael Otome, and as usual, I'm a political preacher, meaning that in that case, I'm a politician also. I'm looking forward to be Kenya president come August 9, 2027 elections, and assisted by my future wife, which is around the corner, the Kenya Supreme People's Power President, the youngest daughter, Honorable Winnie Raila Amolo Odinga, who is currently East Africa Legislative Assembly Member of Parliament. And I'm also going to be assisted by my Vice President, Brigadier Gugubo, who was nearly to unseat the President Kibaki to 2007 elections. So today morning, I would like to share with you the word of God, a wise counsel in last days. A wise counsel which actually Apostle Paul gave to a young pastor called Timothy. And we are going to read this book called 2 Timothy, chapter 4. And we'll pick up from there some few verses to see what actually the advice this godly man of God gave the other one. And particularly during the end times, and we will start by chapter 4 of 2 Timothy, verse 3, and some other few verses following, like now 3 to 5. And this book, actually, I like to also to make a brief introduction for you. This book was written by Apostle Paul, sometimes probably AD 66 to 67. He was actually in Roman kind of a imprisonment that time, but nevertheless, the word of God can be preached anywhere. So this man was awaiting his execution, to be executed, to be killed. But I did not become hopeless, in sensing that kind of hopelessness of death situation. But he was also preaching the word of God. He did not abandon the word of God even in prison. So what we want to say here, 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 3 said, "For the time will come when men will not put up with sound doctrine, and he said, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. For they will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths or wrong doctrine. But you keep your head in all situation, endure hardship, do the work of evangelist, discharge all the duties of your ministry." This is the word of God, which we have heard clearly that Apostle Paul charged his young pastor called Timothy that a time will come when people will not actually keep on hearing the sound doctrine, but they will heap on teachers to gather around them what their ears would wish to hear, like now in Kenya. When you tell someone nowadays to do something right, because it is worthy to do so, the person will not listen to you. When you tell someone you want someone that these days are evil because of so many things happening, a lot of hatred among human beings, a lot of killings, a lot of people disappearing, a lot of bad government leadership in various countries, people are not hearing you. So remember, today God can speak to us through the word of God, like now what I'm reading from the book of Timothy in New International Version Bible. All right, and people can also hear the word of God even nowadays through vision and dreams likewise. Because if you read also the book of Daniel chapter 1 verse 17, we are told here, "To these 4 young men God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning, and Daniel could understand vision and dream of all kinds. We are hearing also from this book of Daniel, which was written by Daniel, whose name means judge, and God's judge is actually the final judge of every one of us. All right. He also wrote to those human beings living in Judah at that time, who are in exile in Babylon or Iraq country today, to encourage them by reminding them also of God's ultimate control over events. And he also told them God will restore them back into their homeland later on, which of course it happened because Israel now got independent in 1948. So the Babylonian have been controlling them that time, BC 626 to 539 before Jesus' birth, and later on was replaced by Assyria, world as a superpower, and Nebuchadnezzar, kind of Babylonian's army, who had also conquered Judah at that time, and thousands of human beings have been taken to Babylon or Iraq at that time, including even those 4 young men we are reading, Daniel and Meshach, Abednego, and Shadrach, and also Meshach. So we are told here in Daniel chapter 1, verse 17, those 4 men which I've mentioned their names, God gave them knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature in that foreign land of Iraq at that time, or Babylon. And Daniel was also, God gave him vision and dreams of all kinds. And that's why he ended up also interpreting Nebuchadnezzar's dreams in Daniel chapter 2. So remember today, God can also speak through vision and dreams. All right. I said I'm looking forward to we need Raila Amolo Odinga as my first lady to help me in politics. She has master's degree in political science. And God also spoke to this girl the way I'm seeing, through vision and dream, like a prophetess in that case, and also dreamed, and also likewise to me, God spoke to me also in vision and dreams. And also I read the Bible as a prophet also of God, and a priest, well trained at Capsa Bible College 4 years. And also I went to further studies at Vision International University, Ramona, California, which was an affiliate campus here in Kenya, Limuru, affiliate campus, Kenya campus of United States of America. I've done also Islamic studies at Columbia International University, apart from Vision International University, to study about Islamic studies. So God can also use visions and dreams to speak to us, to communicate to us. If you read even Genesis chapter 15 verse 1, you will see that. Even John also, God have given him vision in John chapter 1 verse 9 to 11. And also likewise in Numbers, you can see God also can use other vision and angels and prophet and written word of God to speak to us, and also to speak to animals likewise in Numbers chapter 22 verse 21 to 31. And also God can speak also to nature in Psalms 148. So remember, God can communicate to us in any way for us to make wise choices. All right. Like now, I'm looking forward to marry that girl who is also a leader. We need Imga Raila Amolo Odinga to help me in politics, and also help me actually in my own life also in that case, because she will be part of my family. Come our anytime now, if God open a way for me to do so, which of course he has, because I've communicated this issue now for some months, almost a year, close to us half a year, and we are still working on it, and God's timing is the best. So remember today that God he can speak to us in various ways, and also let us not actually hear bad things in our ears, and also perceive bad, wrong counsel from different human beings, but let us actually get the right wording of God from those people who are wise. Another thing also, we are told today, hustlers or the president kind of administration are facing shock in their new housing, bill, kind of a levy, because that's what is actually stated here today in People's Daily newspaper. Our president seems to be not minding about human welfare. He's just very busy doing his own luxurious trips around the globe and building houses without food to human beings to rent, and they have no money to rent housing, and to deduct employees' money, those who are working, and to reduce also their wages in that case, and also without providing other ordinary citizen welfare. So even the governors have complaints because they want 450 billion shillings actually to use as in their own allocated the kind of revenue yearly annual development projects programs, but the government is not actually ready to give them. So it is also stated here in Daily Nation. You can read it there. So we don't know what this government is doing, except actually fighting Kenyans in one way or another by denying them their rights. They are not also serving the Bill of Rights of protecting humanity or sanctity of life, or even to observe the freedom of movement. There are some other countries now that have close to 27 that you cannot they are not accessible.